we're still living in it every day. We still drive by our house. We still drive by our businesses. We still, I look where my animals were in that yard over there. I mean, and so that doesn't go away.
In the campfire, Candace and Eric Seals lost the home they and his parents lived in. They lost their business, all their belongings, but they also endured a kind of loss impossible to quantify.
Well, I lost my father in the fire too. He had a heart attack when my mom and my dad were evacuating.
So you thought he was safe, but they made it out?
Yeah, I thought he was safe, and I called my mom, and she said, we're in the Ford Bay parking lot in Oroville. I said, well, we're going to come. She goes, no, everything's fine. The Rangers are here. They're looking after us. That next morning, I got a call from my mom saying my dad had passed in the parking lot.
Both Eric and his father are veterans. He was the only person Eric could talk to about the horrors of war and their lasting impacts, which he said the fire brought right back.
And actually, I have some trauma from the Persian Gulf when I was out there. It was fire-related. I had PTSD from that, and I pretty much ignored it my whole life. And then the same thing happened here. I was trapped. I came to go get my dad. I couldn't leave. Both the main roads out of town were blocked, so I just stayed here and fought the fire.
Grieving his father, without a home, his PTSD triggered, and living in an also traumatized community, Eric says one day he just lost his grip.
There's not like a lot of signs. It's one day, total meltdown. I don't know, it's like a explosion, just a bomb went off. And then that was it. Completely checked out.
So I ended up going to Menlo Park. The VA has a good facility out there. I stayed out there for a little while and got some trauma counseling. But I feel fortunate for that because, at least I've had some counseling.
Now he worries about his wife, who hasn't had counseling.
I was grocery shopping. It was a good day. I'm coming back up the hill and I just lose it. I'm hyperventilating, I'm crying.
A year after driving through walls of fire for her life, in a burning car, calling relatives to say goodbye, thinking she wouldn't make it, Candace says now she's the one with the nightmares, hypervigilance, and the irrational paralyzing fears.
Overwhelming, small things are hard. It's nothing, but it feels like everything. I mean, and that is trauma. That's the result of trauma.
At 211, operators witness a similar pattern among survivors who call in.
And a lot of things are moving now into recovery mode, and some people just aren't there yet. There's people that I believe are just now starting to be able to think through things, and it's almost a year later thinking about how to move forward. People are calling it, trauma brain. You spent 45 years building a life, and then you get handed this.
The campfire destroyed nearly 14,000 homes in Paradise, of which only a handful have been rebuilt. There are federal, state, city, and nonprofit programs to cover the basic needs of survivors. But in a traumatized Paradise, in a state with an ever-increasing number of climate catastrophes destroying homes and taking lives, mental health services are hard to come by.
We're supposed to have a disaster counselor. I've been waiting 2 months for a call back. And they just don't have enough to go around. There's 20,000 of us.
The federal judge said don't mean nothing to me. But at 55 years old, my whole life is gone.
Kathy lives in a trailer FEMA provided her 7 months after the fire.
I just want to go home. I want my life back.
She says she and her partner of 17 years lived with their 2 dogs in a 5-bedroom home they were renting. Now it's just her in the trailer with the 2 big dogs. She says the stress of the fire broke her and her partner up. He left. Now she may also have to let go of one of her dogs to get an apartment in Paradise with FEMA assistance.
I just want FEMA to understand that we didn't cause it, but they treat us like we're the bad guys. I'm jumping through the hoops. I'm doing everything I can. Right now, she approved me for the apartment, but I'm doing this catch-22 of they want proof of the apartment and they want proof of the rent assistance.
So the apartment needs proof that FEMA is going to help you. FEMA needs proof that you have a place, but somehow they're not connecting with each other.
Look for them. They come by every month, and you got to show it, or they're going to evict you.
I hate to say it, but sometimes, I've been better off than it make it through the fire because all the hoops I'm jumping through now.
They have the trauma of having lived through it, and now they have the trauma of trying to rebuild through it or make their way through it. And it's almost as traumatizing for some people to try and navigate this entire system.
We have a lot of services here. Like you can get food, you can get a shower, there's that kind of thing. But the roof situation is where we're really lacking.
Alex Chris helped Candace and Eric bring back their pet grooming business in Chico. A dog groomer who became a prominent volunteer after the fire and a trauma survivor herself, Alex designed a sustainable housing complex where people get to build their own homes using alternative building methods as part of their therapy and rehabilitation. But factors like building codes and permits present a significant obstacle to realizing the vision.
The one that I've been looking at, it's aircrete domes, and so it's an aerated concrete, so people of all abilities can build the bricks, and then they make these beautiful domes, so it looks like a piece of art. The whole model of this, I call it the Phoenix Nest, hasn't been done yet.
And is it possible right now?
Right now, I like it when people tell me that I can't do something, so I will find a way around it.
You asked what we need after a devastation. You need a fleet of Alexes just at the forefront.